Well, good evening to everybody out there in internet land. How are you doing? Hopefully, you've had a great week. Hopefully, you're having a good weekend. If you're watching the NHL playoffs, maybe the Oilers are getting swept tonight. Who knows, right? I bring that up because remember, we did have that conversation on one of our last broadcasts of who do you think's going to win the cup? And I'm like, well, the Oilers have a lot of firepower, but Florida has better defense. They have better goaltending. I think they have better. I think they have better depth, and hey, they're fucking killing it. Now I know there's the argument that the refs are all in Bettman's favor, and he doesn't want a Canadian team to win. That's always the argument. And I mean, okay, you can have that argument. I don't think that's the problem. So I've had my second week at my new job. Again, we're not going to talk about where my new job is, but good job. One second, I'm just looking at something here. Yeah, go to hell. We got some beers out. Hopefully some people join me. I don't know if they will. If they don't, hopefully I have some people watching that want to communicate with me because we will do that. I that's what I'm here for, right? I'm here to talk. I'm here to enjoy. I'm here to have a good time. And my first beer for the night is going to be from District Brewing Company. And it is their Marzen Lager, their Fest Beer Marzen. So this will be my first beer of the night. Next week, I am not working on Saturdays, so hopefully Christoph and myself can get an interview with a rhino going. I'll even get my light out because I don't have my light on right now. That's why it's so dark. You can see I have my Ottawa Senators sign there. You can't see my Ontario license plate here, but I have an Ontario license plate up as well. I need to get a Quebec license plate, a Manitoba license plate, a Saskatchewan license plate, and I don't even know if Nunavut has license plates, but those are all the places I've worked or lived, so I kind of need a license plate from all of them. And I have one more Ontario license plate I can trade with somebody if somebody from Quebec, Manitoba, or Saskatchewan wants to collect one. Such a nice beer. And I mean, it's just a beer, right? It's just a beer. Nothing special about it. I'm taking it. Nobody's watching right now. I'm taking it. Nobody gives a shit. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. I know it's late. Most of my viewers, it would be either 9 or 10 at night right now. So I gets it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a happier guy. Recently we were talking to some people in Ontario who were like, how are you enjoying it out there in Saskatchewan? And I'm like, I fucking love it here. The cost of living is so much less than Ontario. I'm having a lot more fun here than I've ever had anywhere else in the country. And I've lived in a lot of places, as most of you know, and I've never been as happy with the choices I've made. I've never looked at my family and thought I actually have a future here before now. And I talked to some people from here that are like, oh, the cost of living's so high. We don't understand how people do this or that. I'm like, really? What do you mean? Well, things are so high we can't live anymore. You own a house? Yeah. You own 3 cars? Yeah. You have an RV? Yeah. A boat? Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Like there are a lot of people that struggle, and there are a lot of people struggling all over the country, but there is a lot. There isn't. like we're going to be struggling for another few months, maybe a few more years, and then we're free and clear to do a lot better for our family than we've ever been able to do. And I mean, the struggles coming from all the time we put outside of this province and all the screw nuts that happened coming to this province. I'm glad you got an alert tonight, Brian. Too bad you're not joining me. I know you're probably watching the Oilers lose. Like, I bitch about the price of beer, but to feed my family costs less. To gas up my car costs a lot less. Insurance on my car costs a lot less. Electrical, internet, cell phone, most of it is government ran. I mean, you don't have a lot of second and third party or private industry doing a lot of things. Like my internet's through SaskTel, which is government of Saskatchewan telecommunications, and it's better than the internet I had in Ontario, and it's a third the price. Sask Power, Sask Energy, Regina Water, all of it cheaper. I shouldn't say it's cheaper per se. Right now, I am paying a shitload for my gas, and I'm paying a shitload for my gas and a shitload for my electrical because they're one is equal billing payments, so they're looking at when this was a rental and giving you equal billing payments from when it was a rental. So they must have had their heat pumped because I am paying shit tons for my gas and my electrical. My first electrical bill was red, and my first electrical bill was for 43 days, and they charged me like a third of what I would pay for electricity in Ontario. My second electrical bill was an estimate based on the house from last year's cost of running this house, and it was 30 days instead of 43, and it fucking spiked like $150 higher than what my 43 was. This last one was the same price. They thought of it as the exact same cost. So I paid the exact same amount. Next month they'll actually read my bill, so I'll probably have a very nice. I should have a nice cushion for a few months after that, and I think it's going to be going that way for a while, where I'm paying more than I need to this year, and then next year my bills should really drastically drop. Only other thing where things cost more, and it's not that they cost more, they actually cost less, it's just it's more upfront, is property taxes are not done through your bank with your mortgage like they are done in Ontario and some other places. I pay my property taxes once a year, so I get the bill for my property taxes and I just pay it. And so that is less than I was paying in Niagara and in Welland, but at the same time, it's more because I have to pay it all at once. And then my water heater is a rental, and it was the same thing. It was I had to pay up front for the whole year, but it was like $10 a month for the water heater. And I remember when when I bought my house in Welland, it had a rental on it. It was a rental water heater, and that water heater was older than this one, and it was like $22 a month. So I mean, even my rental fees are less. No. Innocent gun, sir. Innocent gun. So my only two viewers are two people that should both be here with me. What the fuck? Such a nice beer. Yeah, so I'm off tomorrow, and then I work Monday to Friday. I'm off Friday night, Saturday night. And then I start a rotation of midnights for 1 week. and then I do a rotation of warehouse for a week. And then after my warehouse rotation, I begin my assistant store manager training, which is basically all the back house stuff, all the everything that I've been doing for years, but on their system. So I do that after, well, the second week of July. Basically, I'll be doing that. Is the video really choppy, guys? Because it looks choppy on my end. Like my hand, I don't know, am I high? I don't think I'm high, but my hand is doing like, ooh. Maybe it's because my light is off. Yeah, my it's night replenishment team. This company thinks of things the same way I think of things, which is every single person in the management team should know how to do the job of everybody in the store, and they should have done the job of everybody in the store. So I spent an entire week on cash, doing customer service, doing the cash registers themselves, doing returns, all that stuff. This week it's been working. Well, 2 weeks I worked the floor. So I'm doing the floor right now. So stock. Then I do, like I said, my night replenishment team stint, and then I do a warehousing stint, and then I start my 3 weeks of management stint, and yeah, then I've done every job that they basically have. And my warehousing stint, one part of it is picking orders, basically doing online orders and stuff, and all that stuff. So I'm okay with all of it. I'm actually very impressed that they look at things that way, and that they want things done that way, and they want to have their people know everything. And I'm really impressed with that, because there's not a lot of places that do it anymore. Yeah, and then they want to send me to school to become a hydraulics person and cut hydraulics and make hydraulic lines and stuff. And okay, so it's just on my end. Okay. Working with the boys doing midnight warehouse. Should have no shortage of beer or video game talk. I don't know. Our most night teams here are not. A lot of them are not from this country and are very fresh to this country for your midnight teams. At every job I've seen here, your midnight stock teams are not usually. They're first generation at best Canadians, and I mean that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I get along with people from every nationality. I get along with people from almost all cultures. I've had friends in a lot of different cultures, but I don't know exactly how well the language is for everybody there. We'll find out. I've only met like 2 or 3 of them. I've met the manager and the supervisor for the nights. One of them sort of understands me, one of them doesn't. And I met one worker on nights, and her English is not very good, but she actually does understand a lot of things that are being said to her, and she has a lot of fun. She makes a lot of jokes. So I think I'm going to get along with her really well. Again, I won't know until I'm on there what type of things I can even talk about, because again, I need to meet everybody on that team. Haven't met a lot of them yet, but the 3 I've met, I don't think they'll be talking about video games or beer. Breaking the ice with those 3 might be a little difficult, but I usually have once my door opens, I have the gift of gab, as you know, but my door has to open first. Night punishment. No, it's not night punishment. That's what I do with my wife. Well, if nobody joins in the next beer or two, I might even just stop drinking and go upstairs and walk my dogs or something. But you two keep throwing things out there. Let's continue talking. What's going on? Again, Brian, love you, miss you. I hope at some point we can have something overlap where maybe we meet you in Alberta or something on one of your visits, or you have a slightly longer visit and you come to Saskatchewan and I take time off too, and we can do something. Because I mean, to be honest, out of everybody from the casino, I think you and Cecile are the only two I've really tried to keep in contact with. Cecile, I don't get to. Last time I was in Welland, I called her, and she was busy. I even stopped at her house and knocked on her door because I knew where she lived. But I think you two are the only two I actually really talk to still, which is sad because I thought I had a lot of really good friends from the casino. But there's a lot of guys that Rob has messaged me once or twice, and the same with Andrew. Not Gizzy, but Alan. He's messaged me a few times. But other than that, I don't have much contact with anybody, not even Racy, which surprises me. Yeah, I mean, another great thing about Saskatchewan is you start off, like Ontario, you start at most jobs with 2 weeks vacation. Saskatchewan starts you with 3 weeks. So even though I just moved jobs and all that, you still get 3 weeks of vacation right up front, which is great. Is it 4-1 for the Oilers right now? Is that what you're saying? What period is it? Sorry. Was can't believe the Oilers. Can't believe the Oilers are up. I can't believe it. I actually figured they were getting swept. Or were they just hiding? Were they like, ooh, let's make Florida think they can beat us? And now we're Gretzky's team again, motherfuckers. Started the second. Wow. I guess Florida has time to tie it up still. I kind of just want the season to be over so we can focus on free agency and the draft and see what Ottawa's going to do. Because I'm really intrigued about what the team of my choice, these guys up here, are going to do with their off season, because there's so much stuff they could do. I bought this at my place of business for like 50 cents. I'm like, for 50 cents, I'll buy it. But I was surprised to see this team here. And they're like, why are you surprised? I'm like, because you only where I'm from, all you ever see is Toronto. It's the only team you're allowed to like. So to see a Senators banner was big for me. Next, I'm drinking a stout from District Brewing. It's their cold brew stout. So I actually really like District Brewing Company. I know nobody's going to watch this since nobody is here but the three of us, but excuse me. Actually, is he? Who would you consider the best player in the league right now who has been in the league for 8+ years that doesn't have a cup? Would McDavid be the one that would be considered the best player in the league that has never won a cup at the moment right now? I mean, I guess you could even do it positionally. Who is the best goalie that doesn't have a cup? Who is the best defenseman that doesn't have a cup? Who is the best forward that doesn't have a cup? I mean, you could even go left defense, right defense, left wing, right wing, center, but why, right? But the meme is great. That meme gives me a giggle, but yeah, I mean, I don't know who. I know if you asked any person in Ontario, it would always be Toronto. It's some player on Toronto is the best player in the league that doesn't have a cup. But I don't know. Looking league wide, I don't know. It may actually be McDavid. I mean, and the reason I'm saying like almost a decade or more in the league is because then you've had a decade to try and get that cup. I mean, I think before Washington won the cup, Ovechkin would always have been my choice, but then Washington won a cup, so. I mean, as much as I love the Senators, I don't think they have any of the best players in the league. I think they have some good players, but hey, the World Junior Trials coming up soon. What do you think is going to go on with that? I don't think they're going to come back. I mean, are they going to come back from three 3-0 game deficit and win the cup? I mean, they could. They could. You could easily say in that case that Bettman's really playing the game and he just wants more TV revenue, so let's keep the playoffs going. But I don't know. I don't know if has there been a team that's come back from a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs and won the cup still in the finals. I don't know. That's And I mean, the Edmonton Oilers, the way they're built right now, are built a lot like the dynasty Edmonton Oilers, where they have so much firepower, but their back end just is not as great. So, I mean, I could see them possibly do it. I could see them become something special, but I don't know. I don't know. Goalie change, yeah, of course. There's Bobrovsky's failed. Oh my God, there's no more Bobrovsky. Oh, excuse me. I don't know. The one thing I can say about my job, the one thing I don't like about my job is they want me to do like emails all the time. And I'm like, I'm from Ontario, man. We have this law about disconnecting. Um, but I do actually have to as a manager, send an email tonight to the other top managers about something that was talked to me about. So I'll have to send it later and see what they have to say. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if it was it federal? I thought it was a Ford law. I'm gonna have to look this up now. Written policy requirements. Nope, it's Ontario. Apparently, there is a thing in the federal where you can fight it, but it is a Ontario law, and the federal isn't fully legislated, is what it's looking like. It was a Ford rule. Again, I last week when that certain somebody was trying to get me to become very political, and I refused to. As much as I don't like Ford, there's some Ford things that I support, and that was one of them. I'm sure he is. That man reminds me of Martin Gerber in that it's all up here for him. He is very easy to break, and if you break him, things can happen. Where I think that was the big thing with Martin Gerber, right? Like when he was sent to Ottawa, he started failing, and he started failing because you had him have things. Sorry? Where's your dirty uniform? Right there. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. I love you. Bye. I think part of his problem is it's very mental for him. Chicken. She wouldn't let me stay on here. She knew that I didn't have anyone talking to me. Anyway, where I was going with that is that I think, and this is through his career, it seemed that the media and the stress can get to him very hard. So I could see him being on the bench crying about it because he thought he was sweeping that series. He thought he was taking it. He had the cup in the bag. He was a fucking brick wall. And now he's not. And that could really fuck with him. Yes, she still wants to murder you. Because I even had it in one of my recent beer reviews. I'm like, hey, do any of you ever ask your wife if you can fart in her bum or pee between her legs while she's peeing? I do it every day. She is so mad at you. She's almost as mad at you as she is mad at me. Broccoli, little trees. Nobody's even looked at the link. I sent the link and nobody looked at it. I'm a little sad about that. Little sad. Little sad. You are an enabler. You enabled me to be an asshole. No, she watched the video that you sent, and she was like, "My lord, this is you." And I laughed, and I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't think of some of those." But yeah, she was so sympathetic for that lady, going, That's my life. That's my life. She lives my life." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. Is living with me that bad?" She goes, "Yes, yes, that's me." I felt a little bad for her. Don't know why I didn't set my light up tonight, but I didn't. Oh, it's such a good beer. There is so many. There's so many really good beers here in Saskatchewan. I'm somewhat sad that I can't just try them all. No, it's way over there. I can't reach it. It's too far away. Not going to set it up because I don't suspect I'll be on all that much longer since nobody's here to talk with me. I get it. All my viewers, for the most part, are Canadian, and the playoffs are on. And on top of that, I start so late because I'm 2 hours behind my regular viewership window. So I get it. I do. And I have so many people in the beer tube community that aren't friends with me anymore because, I got divorced and moved away. So I get it. Yeah. Big Rock retired a bunch of stuff. Big Rock also closed their Toronto brewery, which a lot of people thought would never happen, but they didn't pick a good location for their Toronto brewery. Like, it was real hard to get to. Apparently, once we leave our house, our Great Pyrenees just sits in the window as her entire body, looking out the window like, dare you, motherfucker. Come on in. And she's been doing that since that one guy tried to break into the house. I think that matters. Amsterdam Brewing Company in Toronto, their original brewery had really bad parking, but it was in a really good foot traffic location. And they did amazing. Their current one doesn't do as good. And arguably, excuse me, arguably a much better parking location, but foot traffic not as good. Best parking lot I've been to in the city is probably District. District probably has the best parking lot of all the breweries that I've been to here. Well, they also seem to be the slowest of the three. Well, of the five? Yeah, District, Pile of Bones. I'm thinking not brew pubs right now, right? District, Pile of Bones, Rebellion, Regina Brewing, and Multinational. So there's five full-fledged nothing but brewery. And then you have your brew pubs of like Bushwhacker, Creekside, lots of brew pubs that bring our numbers up to like 12. And of the breweries themselves, best parking lot by far is District. District seems to be the slowest of the breweries that I've been into. Worst parking lot. Well, Regina Brewing has the worst parking lot because they don't have a parking lot. They are all foot traffic, but there is a parking lot just down the street from them. And they're in the middle of downtown. Second worst parking lot is Multinational, and every time I've been into Multinational, it's pretty kicking. And I mean, it's the one that's in the most residential area, and I think that's part of its esteem. Like, it's a 10-minute walk from me, where I can walk to every brewery in this city, but it'll take me anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour. But I can get to Multinational in 10 minutes. It is. It's in one of those, it's basically in a strip mall. It's weird. It has parking. Not the greatest location, but it has parking. But they were always able to survive until Ken finally sold. I'm sure I will. Maybe when the kids are here, I'll take them all to a game. I don't know. It depends what my days off are. But we'll see, right? We're here. If we don't make it this year, we'll make it next year for sure. But yeah, I have no problem going to a CFL game. Even though I'm not a big football fan, I have no problem with it. I really don't. The camera will be back on in a second here. Sorry. I'm just really killing my chicken at the moment. I forgot my lunch for work today, so But you know who else is quite akin to black oak? That was my dramatic pause there. Wasn't that I was chewing. Nickelbrook. Nickelbrook was they owned the entire plaza. It was them and a U Brew, and the U Brew was John's as well. But I wonder how many people went looking for Nickelbrook and didn't find it because the GPS gave them the wrong directions. Because every GPS I ever used to get to Nickelbrook would tell you to turn right when you had to turn left. And you know, there are people that don't even look, they just blindly follow the directions. No, beer is not available in grocery stores. Sorry, I was chewing a piece of broccoli. My body really needs the veggies. No grocery store sales, but you can buy off license at the brewery. There are some bars and restaurants that have off license. And then you have your bottle shops like Sobeys Liquor, Urban Cellars, Goebels. There's a bunch of off sales premises, but yeah, you're not getting it at the grocery store here. Or the corner store or anything like that. You have bottle shops and you have the manufacturers themselves. However, you can buy them. You can buy them at like farmers markets. There are breweries from Saskatoon that come to the farmers market here. Yes and no. Even big commercial bars and restaurants like the Canadian Brew House and stuff like that, they will have a couple of your local things there, but for the most part, you are looking at big company stuff. Florida just wants to win the cup in Florida. That's what this is. Florida's letting Edmonton win. They're like, we're up 3-0. Let's give them a game. Take the cup home in Florida. And if they somehow beat us in the next game, we'll let them win the next game so we can take the cup in Florida. Next beer is from Pile of Bones. Scarth Street Blonde. One piece of broccoli left. If Florida comes back from 6-1, I'll eat my wife's ass. Not that I wouldn't do that anyway. No. No, you weirdo. Nobody should bring back a hot dog flavored chip. But that's an interview with a rhino type of question right there. Actually, since you're here, Blake was also talking today about non-alcoholic beer. And now how he believes the big guys have always been able to do a non-alcoholic beer really well and just refuse to do it. And now that there is some really good craft breweries making it, you're seeing a lot of really good big guy non-alcoholic beers come out. And I sat here thinking about it after he was writing all that, and I'm like, he's kind of right. Strangely enough, he's kind of right. And yeah. Well, I hope your phone call was good, sir. Nobody calls me. My phone has been quiet for let's go look. When was my last phone call? My last phone call was fucking Tuesday. Well, actually, let's find my last phone call that wasn't Alicia, my ex-wife, or my son. The 7th of June was my last phone call. And it was a wrong number. What's going on, Paul? Why can't you drink? Glad to have you, even if you can't join. Glad. I'm starting to think you don't like albinos, though. You never join. You never do anything, Paul. You never do anything. What the fuck, Paul? I'm beardless too, rocking purple tang tonight. But that blue raspberry, Kool-Aid's blue raspberry is not blueberry raspberry, is it? Like when you get a blueberry freezy, when you get a blue raspberry freezy, it's just blue. It's not blueberry raspberry. And I mean, you're right. Kool-Aid was onto it long before anyone else. But I don't think Kool-Aid or anyone else was going for a blueberry raspberry mix. I think it was just, hey, here's a blue raspberry, motherfuckers. And I mean, who gives a shit if it works, right? Right? Right. If I push this back, oh, look, now you can see my license plate. I'm glad that this license plate was one of the yours to discover license plates. You know, the license plate that Ontario has had for so long, not the Ford open for business, which sounded like you were a prostitute. Hey, sorry about your wife. Hopefully everything goes good. I mean, I care. I might seem like an asshole at times, but I do care. I actually have to send an email out. Brewing with Kool-Aid, I could go for a Min-Haas Blue Ice, 6% minimum. Is there orange peel and coriander in it as well, though? Because if there's not orange peel and coriander in it, it must come from a different side of the brewery. I was really hoping. I didn't realize the NHL game was tonight. I was really hoping to have people here to chat with. Again, I don't. I talk about this sometimes on my vlogs and all that, right? Like I don't. I've moved provinces for so many times, and I'm an older guy now. I'm in my 40s. I don't have enough interaction, and we have no family here. We have nothing here but ourselves, and I was really hoping to get somebody face to face tonight, and I get why I didn't, and that's too bad. But I don't know. I know next week I have Chris because we're going to do the interview with a rhino. But I don't know. I kind of needed to touch base with somebody, and that just did not happen this week, and that's perfectly fine. Just a little bit of a letdown. Why is my walls puckering? What did they do? Like I can see this is obviously where where the two sheets of drywall meet, which I don't know why they did it that way and not the proper way, but yeah. But like I said, Paul, I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, I really hope your wife does well with whatever medical treatment she's going through. Yeah, I will drink. I will finish the Scar Street Blonde in your name. This is for Paul and his wife. Yummy. Yeah, you can see on top of my fridge, I have some ammo crates filled with stuff, just stuff. Some light bulbs, some gloves, and a tripod. In case I ever do an on-location video again, I have to have my tripod. Oh, excuse me. Your browser is what fucking browser do you have that's blocking a mic and camera? I've never had that happen yet. And I use I use everything. I use Chrome, I use Mozilla, and I use Edge. I have all three. I don't know why I have all three, but I have all three. My next beer is going to be another pile of bones beers. It's going to be the Fruit Loop Sour, which has no Fruit Loops in it. No Fruit Loops in the Fruit Loop Sour. Don't ask me how that makes sense, but it does. Oh, fuck. This. I don't know if I realized this when I reviewed this, but this was. This was canned a long time ago. Fuck. What the fuck is up? Okay. What the fuck is up with this province and really old beer? Random fun racist joke of the day. I do. I did meet a guy. I do hope we get to hang out more. We're both kind of oddballs because we're both. And I know it doesn't seem it when I do this. It doesn't seem it when I do this, or for a lot of people until I don't even know what seemed it when actually when Brian trained me, when Brian and Rick and all them trained me at the casino. I wasn't all that talkative, and I am I am an introvert. I'm an extroverted introvert in that I need that bro time, but at the same time I am very shy. I think if I hadn't been albino, I would be the guy that wanted the center of attention all the time, type of thing. The extrovert, the that makes friends everywhere he goes and talks to everybody. But I think because of all the abuse and everything else I took as a person who is different than the crowd, I became very reserved and didn't let my walls down very often. And I think that's one of the reasons why the YouTube page became what it was because I could let myself out. I could let out because I'm not in front of anybody, right? I'm just a. But at that point, I was at work with people that I considered friends all the time and all that. So I had my, even though it was sometimes only at work, I had my friend time. And then because I would offer free alcohol for people who hung out with me to do the review and all that, I had lots of people wanting to be here. So I was always able to get that outlet. And now I don't. And the older I get, the further away the chances are of this. But I did meet a guy. He had a Kijiji ad up before I moved here, looking for friends, and I was reading his Kijiji ad, and I'm like, this seems slightly weird because he was talking about no homophobes, but he's a married man. And then I found when we were together, he kept talking about his partner, and then he would every once in a while drop that his partner was his husband. He's like, my husband. I think he was trying to see if he would get a reaction from me, and I'm like, you suck dick all day. I don't give a shit. Like it doesn't bother me. Do whatever you do. And he's like, you know what? You actually seem like a really cool guy. I'd love to hang out again. And this week we're not getting it because Saturday nights are the night he would want to hang out, and I'm working. I worked today, so it just didn't happen. But what came about was just that, right? He's like, and when we were leaving, I went to him and I'm like, look, I'm going to ask you a question. And I don't want it to come off wrong. I just want to understand. I go, you had right in that post of yours, no homophobes. Have you come across a lot? He goes, oh yeah, I've come across people that hate me because of my sexuality. I've come across people who are married to a woman but are closet gays and were hoping that I would do things with them. He goes, I've come across everything in the gambit. So I'm leery of meeting people. And I'm like, I'm really sorry that happened to you. He goes, yeah, see, you seem really cool because you don't care. I go, why would I care? What you do is what you do. It's not me. It's not what I do. And I don't give a shit. I go, I'm gruff. I'm rough around the edges. I'm this, I'm that. I came up in a weird world and I came up in a weird family, but I don't care what you do as long as you're a good person who has good in your heart, who doesn't try to hurt people. I don't give a shit what you do. So, I mean, it was an interesting thing. Has it really shit the bed? See, I don't buy beer in Ontario as often, so I don't realize that. Maybe that's part of my problem though, is that I was buying beer in Ontario when everything was always fresh. I'd be a walking Ken doll. No, I'm too fat to be a walking Ken doll. And I'm okay with that. I stepped on the scale today. And I mean, for the past 7 years, even when I was with Alicia, when we first started dating and all that, I've always been near 290, but I was 290 pounds of all muscle at my smallest since well, actually at my smallest since my divorce, I was at 240, and then I ended up at 290 when I was built right when I came back to work, and I'm still at 290, but I'm at a different 290. And I crossed that 290 threshold for the first time in a long time a few days ago. And I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. That's only coming up because of the Ken doll comment there. But I now that I'm feeling happier, that I feel like my family has a future and that I'm not actually a failure. I foresee me walking the dogs a lot more again. I foresee me working out again. I actually have a weighted jump rope. I have my dumbbells. I don't have a lot of dumbbells. I only have 35, 40, and 45 pound. When I was working out when I was first divorced, I had all the way up to 75-pound dumbbells, and I had hundreds of pounds of weights in the basement. I don't have any of that anymore, but I have everything I need, I believe, to start bettering myself. And I have 3 dogs that need walks and everything. So, I mean, it took me some months to get to this point, but I'm ready to do the best I can for me. Drivers going all over Hell's Half Acre for parking money. What do you mean? To save money on parking? Is that what you're trying to say? Ontario is a weird beast. When we first moved here, Alicia's mom came to spend a week with us to help me get things set up. Alicia wasn't coming with me at the time. And then Alicia joined me. And when Alicia joined me, it was a surprise to her mom. And her mom was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. Like, look at everything. Look at the house you got for the price. We should get your brother out here to look around and see about a job and this and that." So we sent them a bunch of houses. The house next door to us is up for sale. It's a duplex, and it's up for sale for about double what our house was. It's about the same house, but it has a bigger garage, a bigger lot, a bigger this, a bigger that. Then there's another house across the street from us that's a 2-bedroom for like 130, and then there's a house the street behind us that's for sale for like 165. That's a 3-bedroom. I'm like, look, you could either buy the house next to us for this much, or you could buy these 2 houses for less than that, and you could all have your own house. And her mom now is like, I don't think we're moving there, because at first her mom wanted to move here. We're like, well, why? She goes, I just don't want. And then today, I guess her mom called and she's like, "Does TJ just not want to come here?" And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, why don't you tell him to get his fucking big boy pants on and figure he's a 30-year-old man who's living in his mommy's basement with his wife and her child. He wants to have more children. Does not want to leave his mommy's house. And the reason he wants to stay in Ontario is because, his mommy has a house there. And the reason his mommy doesn't want to leave Ontario is because TJ lives with them." I'm like, maybe it's time to say, grow the fuck up. Maybe it's time to say either move somewhere you can afford to live on the salary that you have, because his salary for the jobs he's doing would be the same, if not more here. And the cost of living here is so much less. Or fuck off and figure your own shit out. There is one brother who doesn't talk to anybody in the family anymore because he was like, you chose the youngest over me. And my wife is at the point where she's almost doing the same thing. What the hell is that?
Hey.
Oh my lord, look who's here.
Let's see how this works. If you can hear me.
Oh, I can hear you, sir. Yeah. How are you doing?
Doing good. How's my audio? Is it pretty shitty?
No, it's good.
Oh.
You are the face of the chat right now.
Oh, okay. Are you eating?
No, I just made you the sole person at the moment.
Oh.
So everybody that hasn't met him, this is Brian. Brian's always in the comments. Not always here.
No.
I think this is like the second or third time in all the years that you've been on here.
Second. Seems to be working this time.
Oh, excuse me. How's the hockey game going?
It's second intermission.
And it's 6-1?
Yep.
Now, if Florida comes back in the third period and ties it up.
Oh. That would be something else.
I don't think Florida has the firepower to score 5 goals in one period.
No, I don't think so either.
Like I said when you first asked me that question last week, I think they have the more depth on the team, the better rounded team, but I don't think they have the firepower that Edmonton has.
So what did I miss the last 2 minutes? 3 minutes?
Nothing really. I was telling a story about Alicia's parents and her youngest brother. Yeah.
I see.
Brian's face and off-camera burping and beers. No, I haven't opened a beer. This is the same beer. I don't know where you heard the beer opening, but yes, I did burp off camera.
We're like puppets and puppeteers.
I do still have to open this guy and start doing some video game live streaming.
What games are you gonna?
I don't have a lot of games right now. I think I have like Fallouts and long deadly road to Canada or something like that on my Xbox.
Oh, you're an Xbox guy.
Well, I was originally a PlayStation guy. Actually, to be 100% honest, I was originally a Nintendo
Atari?
guy. Well, yes, Atari, but for common systems like modern systems, I was a Switch guy. But Nintendo doesn't let you do videos without giving you copyright strikes. Plus, I sold all my stuff when we moved, and then my son's stuff got sold when he broke the window.
Is the window
he was
fixed
very
now?
unhappy with me. Oh, the window's nice and fixed. It's back in. It's all that stuff. It was like $120 to fix it.
Oh, that's not too bad, maybe.
No, and I mean, yeah, I sold his Switch for cheap just to sell it. But I'm like, you're either getting a job. I don't want a job. Then we're selling your video games. I don't want to sell my. These are your two choices.
Yeah.
You are paying for this window one way or another. And I think I sold his Switch and all of his games for like $200. And again, the window was like $120. So I handed him $80. I'm like, here you go. This is yours. The next day he broke one of our chairs because he fell into it. So I'm like, well, that's $40. And then he broke another chair the next day. I'm like, another $40, boy. So he didn't get anything out of it, right? I'm like, you need to start taking care of things. Like, enough is enough. And then I walked out. I walked in. I put my wife's car in the garage last night, and I walked out of our garage into the backyard. And one of the last 3 chairs I bought was flipped upside down right beside the fire pit. And I'm like, what the fuck happened here? I banged into it and it knocked upside down. I go, what do you mean you banged into it? I banged into it. And so I put it upright and I'm like, banged into it and it didn't move. I go, so what the fuck do you mean? He's like, oh, I was playing with the dog. Like, how about this? How about you fucking move things that cost money that don't belong to you when you play with the dogs? You fucking. I love my child, but I want to throttle him.
Shouldn't laugh at that.
A blazing hot, spicy spaghetti. I don't think I've ever had. Have you had spicy spaghetti?
No. I try to keep it bland.
Spaghetti's always been bland. Like every spaghetti I always add heat to my spaghetti. I add like pepper flakes. I add like cayenne pepper. I add I love hot everything. I don't love it when it comes out, especially now as I'm getting older, but
You just sit on ice instead of the toilet bowl.
what do we have next? District Dark. So what are your days off nowadays?
It's still the same. Sunday, Monday.
Oh, you got the good shift now, eh?
That's why I don't switch onto a different shift.
Sorry, I'm having a problem. 1 second.
Oh, let's critique your ceiling. Is that a smoke
Critique
alarm
my
up
ceiling
there?
all you
Or
want.
like that's
I'm trying to get the beer out from under my computer.
from under your cheese?
I'm seeing just how lopsided my house is at the moment.
It's rolling away from you?
Yep. Oh, excuse me. You have to keep looking at my ceiling for another minute or so. I'm taking my next sock off.
So what is that on your ceiling? I'm trying to look.
I don't know. What do you see?
The round thing.
The round thing. Oh no, they have a weird 1 second here. I'm guessing that there is a furnace vent there because this weird angle. For one, most of the basement is a full, like almost 7 feet high.
Okay.
And then this one section is or were you seeing that thing right there?
Yeah, that.
Okay, that's a vent.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. It's a little kitchenette, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this was the kitchen for the illegal apartment that was down here.
Yeah.
And it's become quite a little hideaway, right? Like I have my little office for my beer reviews back here. Over there, Alicia now has a desk and a bookshelf. TV is right in front of me. Couch is against the far wall. Then our bed is against the other wall. Obviously, Alicia was working out today because the coffee table is across from me at the moment.
You weren't working out with her?
No, I was at work.
Solo workouts.
Yeah. Yeah. What the hell is this? Your latest review from Say What? Nice to see a throwback to Cascade hops. Note on the Rhino can go from a fixed position to being completely upside down. I wasn't upside down. You just did that. Well, I did. Not upside down at all, sir. I didn't expect this beer to blow up. That's basically what it came down to. There's nothing that's happened to this beer. I did not expect what happened.
So what's going to be the flavor of the summer with all the different beers?
The flavor I see the most right now is peach and mango are the two different flavors that I see the most at the moment. I don't know what Ontario's showing off, but peach and mango seem to be the big things here. I'm actually surprised at how many Ontario beers I see in this province. Especially at an okay price. I was getting a buddy of mine in Ontario to give me the price of certain beers currently, just because I could find them here, and I'm like, wow, the prices are not that much different. Holy fuck! I just about stuck my toe in the 220 volt plug here.
Maybe you should cover that plug up, or cut your toenails.
I forgot that the stove was right here, and I was itching my foot on the plug. I have four 220 volt plugs in this house. I could probably get a good breaker or two empty by taking this one off.
Do you need the breaker space? Is your panel full?
My breaker board is full, so I could get if I got the breaker space, I could actually probably take a load off of a few other breakers.
Just add another little.
Add
panel.
2 singles for the 220.
Yeah, or you just add another panel.
Ontario is fixed for how much lime it can fit in a beer. Obviously, you do not have Bud double lime there then right now.
Is that a thing? Or are you screwing around?
There is Bud double lime here in Saskatchewan. I haven't tried it yet because I don't want to buy a 12-pack of it. I'm waiting for somebody to drop a 12-pack so they have to open it and make it into like singles, and then I'll buy it. But I don't want to buy a 12-pack of Bud Light double lime.
I don't blame you.
I haven't looked at any of the Niagara breweries recently. Is there anything interesting there?
Nothing has popped out.
Sorry, I'm hearing somebody yell at the dogs, and I can't tell if it's my wife or my daughter.
Uh-oh.
The worst part is my 4-year-old daughter has more control of my dogs than my 13-year-old son.
Huh.
They respect her more. They think of her as higher in the hierarchy.
It just means she hasn't put up any shit.
I would love more potatoes. Oh my lord, would I like?
Are they mashed?
No, they're roasted.
With bacon wrapped around them?
Oh, I wish there was bacon wrapped around them, but they're not that fatty. Thank you.
You're welcome.
They're like oil and garlic and everything else.
Oh, wow.
Hey. can back upstairs. I can sing some more, and then I'll be up. Okay.
Are you gonna thank her by farting into her butt?
No, I'm not going to thank her by farting into her butt.
Oh.
Brian wants to know if I'm going to thank you by farting into your butt. Brian is live right now if you want to answer him.
Absolutely fucking not.
Why not?
Because you're not fucking doing it!
I love you.
Fuck off.
Are you going into the washroom? Can I pee between your legs while you pee? Apparently, I'm not allowed to do anything fun.
No, but if she wants to hold it while you pee, that's a whole other story. That's okay, right?
Yeah, she can hold it while I pee. Ah, boobs!
Go into the bathroom. I love you. Fuck off.
What is it, like a George Costanza thing here? Shirts off to go to the bathroom?
Apparently. What's that? I love you. He wanted to know if you still wanted to kill him earlier. What about my gas? You get married and it's no fun anymore.
That's part of that was the secret vow you didn't say out loud.
You're right. The secret vow I didn't say out loud was that I got to pee between her legs while she peed.
And then wake her up by breathing into her nose by your nose.
I tried that one on her. I actually snuck it in. And I'm like, yeah, he was wrong. This is weird. We're talking about breathing into your nose from my nose. Since I know you're on the toilet and can hear me. I know you can hear me. There's no real door. It's one of those accordion doors.
Ah.
What's that? Yeah, but I wouldn't hear you. I can hear you perfectly.
Tell her we can all hear her too.
Brian says he can hear you too. Oh, I married the proper woman as an Irishman. She makes good potatoes.
Well, that's good.
Are we going to try and walk 2 of the 3 dogs? Oh, I don't know if the third will let us go anywhere.
We have 3 leashes.
We have 3 leashes, but the third dog would not move when I took him out last.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how do you choose which 2?
We don't take the puppy. The puppy is a fucking idiot.
If he has his emotional support dogs. But it's pouring rain out right now. So
oh, is it pouring rain?
Yeah, your daughter just came in. She's like, it's raining. It's medium rain. It's rain.
Okay, so I guess there's no fire tonight.
No.
Oh, well. It's what type of rain?
That kind of rain.
That sounds like a different type of sound.
I don't know what that means.
It does sound like a different type of sound, eh?
Yeah, like we should be on a totally different site if that's what's going on.
What's that?
I'm going to go put your laundry in.
Oh, thank you, my beautiful wife.
You're welcome. Our sheets and everything are in the dryer.
I see that there's no sheets on our bed
There's
currently.
no sheets on anyone's bed except for Aiden's.
Well, that's because Aiden doesn't clean her sheets. His sheets can get up and walk away.
We should be trying to do a fireside chat this summer.
They're good.
That would be doable because my my extender for my Wi-Fi is in my basement window.
I don't know if I'd have to figure out my thing. Blah. Because that's where I was a few years ago, and I couldn't get a signal.
Yes. Yes, the last time we tried with you, that's where you were.
Yeah.
No, a few nights ago when we were sitting out by the fire, we were talking about our favorite thing about owning our own place in this province is we own our own place with a big enough yard to have a fire pit and this and that, and we're just sitting at the fire going, this is amazing. This is exactly what we wanted. I mean, it's a little tiny fire pit. It's only like one of those $100 fire pits with the little mesh cover and all that.
Yep.
But that's all you need.
I have a Princess Auto fire pit in my backyard. Rectangle one.
Mine's round.
Yeah, I got mine on like a clearance sale a couple years ago. Last year before. It's my second one. The first one rusted out, so I had to get another one.
That store you mentioned is a really nice store.
I know. I'm glad it's in St. Catharines, other side of St. Catharines than Niagara Falls. Otherwise, I'd spend a lot of money there.
Yeah, I really hope I don't go there ever because I would spend a lot of money there too.
Yeah.
Hey, Aiden Senior.
Why are you calling me Aiden Senior?
Check your motherfucking pockets.
Does that still work? Oh my god, it still works!
That's because they can actually go through the wash.
Does that go through the laundry?
Your wife checks pockets.
Love you.
Love you too.
I had my earphones go through the laundry last week. Washer and dryer.
Did it still work?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Hold on. There we go. Had someone trying to call me.
Because of my ribs, my awesome deal on pork cider.
I was wondering why suddenly I'm sitting here on my phone and why are my earphones connecting on Bluetooth? That's confused. Then I opened the dryer and out they fell.
What company made your earphones?
What was your question?
What company makes your earphones?
Oh, it's just a cheap pair off of Amazon. Like paid like $20.
And they still worked after the washer and dryer.
Yeah, they were in the case. Black little case. I don't have them in front of me. Yeah, went through the washer, full washer cycle, full dryer cycle.
I don't know what Chris means, but he's asking you if you're a licorice all sorts kind of guy.
Well, if I can, if this is a literal question, I'm a red licorice guy, Twizzlers, I guess, unless I'm missing something.
Oh, look, we got a man-child, punter, cantankerous cook, Salvation Army, Ali Alejandro, Boo Bear. What are you trying to say? I don't understand what you're trying to say here. You're trying to say you want them back? Well, they all live in Ontario, so that ain't happening. Even if I still lived in Ontario, most of that group doesn't care to talk to me anymore because, at one point I said I'm not giving you free booze every week anymore. Some of that group still talks to me. I still talk to some of them. One of them was my reference for this job that I have now. And yeah, I don't know what he means by licorice all types. I won't touch black. When I buy my job has sweet and sour candy up at the cache. You need them. Well, again, I live in Saskatchewan. They live in Ontario. You ain't getting them. And of that group, I talked to 3 of them still. one of them chose my ex-wife over me, so that person's out completely. Anyway, like I won't touch black licorice, and we sell the sweet and sour mix at the cash, and whenever I buy that as my lunch, I try and move all the candy to see if there's black licorice in it, because it could be, and it ruins my day if I get black licorice.
Ah.
Do you like black licorice, sir?
What are you measuring over there?
Nothing. I'm just. I
Length
didn't know
or
I owned
depth?
this. I didn't know I had this, so I was just looking at it.
Where'd you get that from?
I don't know.
What store did you buy
know.
that from?
No idea.
Came with the
That
move,
one
right?
I actually don't know. I'm not even being a dick about it. I don't know where I got that one from.
Meanwhile, it says Mastercraft on it, and it's like, well, that's Canadian Tire.
No, it says Shop Pro.
Dollar store, Dollarama.
Well, Shop Pro could be a lot of different places.
I don't know. I'm just.
I just don't know. I was actually going to buy a new, because I took my DeWalt one to work, because you have to have one on your tool belt all the time at work. So I took it to work with me, and didn't realize I had one because I was about to buy one today in the surplus section. Okay, so it's a licorice all sorts are British candy, usually come in a metal tube or tin, square-shaped, multicolored hard licorice.
Is that the candies that usually like everyone's grandmother had growing up?
Kind of sounds like it, eh?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my grandmother still eats that kind of candy. But my last grandmother still living is in her late 80s at this point, so.
And she still has the tin from 80 years ago.
Probably.
Yeah.
My aunt hates me. My aunt has completely sided with my ex-wife. And I'm a horrible person, according to her, at all times. And my grandmother is not allowed to talk to me, according to my aunt. And my grandmother's like, he is my grandson. You can't fucking stop me, you stupid fucking bitch. And I'm like, oh, that's my old Irish grandmother going off. And yeah, she has dementia, but she will fight until the day she dies.
Oh, there we go. It is the old lady. There's an Irish festival coming to Niagara Falls this summer.
Is there?
Yep.
I'm turning my camera off for a second, sir, because I'm going for a pee, so you're completely in charge of keeping people entertained for about 30 seconds.
Oh, well, let's see if you actually last 30 seconds in the bathroom there.
Oh, it's good because I don't have my light on, so I can just go right to the bathroom.
It's interesting how he had his tape measure out, and then suddenly he has to go to the bathroom. Turns off the camera. I think he's just measuring items that we can't see. Anyone else watching the hockey game? I have it on in my background over here. Can we hear him peeing tonight? Can anyone hear him? Mr. McGee.
Oh, what the hell was that?
Oh, he's making sounds. Oh.
Oh,
Are you back? Did you wash your hands?
oh no! What have you been talking about?
Not too much, but I asked if you washed your hands.
Yeah, I wash my hands. Again, I don't know if you saw my Facebook message, but the one thing I learned sitting on the public, because there's only a public
Yeah.
washroom at my store. I was in there for 5 minutes. Maybe 10 people came through while I was in there for my 5 minutes. 2 people of the 10 washed their hands. And I'm like, I worked for a week as a cashier. How many people's penis money came through my hands?
Well, think about when we used to work together.
Yes.
I always make
That's
it a
what
point.
one needs more alcohol.
I always
Last
make it a
beer
point
for the
to wash my hands, and then I make eye contact with everybody who tries to walk out while I'm washing my hands.
My last beer of the night is from McKinnon's Brewing Company. It's their 8-man pale ale. I was not an 8-man. I was a tight head prop. So the 8-man would have his head very close to my ass. So the 8-man had to respect me, and I had to respect him.
And what happens if you didn't respect him? What happens?
I fart in his mouth. Like his head is like, because the front, right? The front is the
Is this
tight
where
head prop.
is this where the human centipede started?
I guess rugby could be. So you'd have your tight head prop, your hooker, and your loose head prop.
That
And
sounds like
behind
a
them, you'd have
pirate movie.
your 2 second linesmen would have their heads going between the tight head and the hooker, and the loose head and the hooker. And the 8-man had his head going between the 2 second linesmen and holding the second linesmen in together. And then you'd have your 2 wingers, and your 2 wingers would be off to the sides, and they would have one hand on a second lineman and one hand on the prop of their side. And then the scrum half would be the guy that would throw the ball into the scrum. So the 8-man would always be the guy at the very back of the scrum pushing forward, but he would be on like a fully 45-degree angle, and his head would be going between the two second linesmen's buttocks and being like right beside all 3 of the butts of the front line, which was the tight head, the loose head, and the hooker. And yeah, so I mean, if he opened his mouth and the hooker was to fart, it would go right into his mouth. So you're right, kind of like the human centipede. And if either of us farted on either side, it would be funneled into his mouth as well. So yeah.
And amongst all those hookers and guys bending over is a referee keeping his eye on everything.
Yes. And then when I was playing for the Ottawa Scottish and for Woodruff High School, because both had the same coach.
Well, Oilers roll 7-1.
7-1. Wow.
Yeah.
So the Ottawa Scottish and the and Woodruff High School had the same coach, and our lineouts had "fuck the pig" Vaseline. So if the word that the scrum half yelled started with F-U-C or K, because you would say like Fred 22, or like Thirsty 36. It didn't matter what your number was. It was all about the letters, right? So fuck the pig and then Vaseline. So if it started with F-U-C or K, it went to the first jumper, which was a second linesman between me and the other prop. If it started with T-H or E, it went to the next jumper, which was between the loose head prop and one of the wingers. And if it was P-I or G, it went to the last jumper at the end of the line. And if it was Vaseline, it went right to me. So that was our plays, was fuck the pig, Vaseline. Yeah, I don't know if this chat room's going to get slammed because I'm going to go walk my dogs shortly. But we're going. Well, actually, we're going to walk 2 of the dogs. The third dog may come with us or may not. Who knows? Every time I try to walk, he's a Bernese Mountain Dog. He doesn't like to walk.
Is he a herding dog?
He's a livestock guardian dog, much like Colleen is. But unlike Colleen, he is a giant baby. Like, we came home today from work, and he got so excited to see me after 9 hours that he was freaking out in his crate. And I opened his crate, and he tried to charge out, right? And I tried to teach them to be calm. So I put my hand down so he can't charge out. He's the puppy of the group. And I put my hand down. I didn't do anything to him. I just kept him from running out of the crate. And he's like, oh, started yelping like I was beating him. I'm like, what the fuck, dog? But he is the biggest baby ever. He does the Bernese hop when he gets excited. He's like hopping all over the room. He's like, oh my God, you're here. Oh my God. I don't know what to do with you.
So how much food do those monsters eat a week?
Otis eats 6 cups a day. So Otis is our Saint Pyrenees, so Saint Bernard Great Pyrenees mix.
Yeah.
He is 170 pounds at the moment and about a year and a bit old. He's like 17 months old.
Wow.
Colleen is 120 pounds. She's the Great Pyrenees. And Judge is the Bernese Mountain Dog. He's about 8 months old, and he weighs about 67 pounds. He'll probably end around 100 is our guess. However, Colleen, like I said, Otis is about 6 cups of food a day. Colleen is 2 cups of food a day because she's actually overweight. We're trying to get her to lose weight, but she is the queen. She's the queen of the house, so if she's still hungry, she beats the other 2 up and eats their food.
8-1.
Of course it's 8-1. And Judge is
3 minutes to go.
Judge is 4 cups a day is what we feed him, but again, Colleen eats a lot of his food too.
Now, do they all eat the same food? I don't know if you just said that or not.
Judge is on Harvest Goodness. They're all on Harvest Goodness, which is a brand we get from PV Mart. It's made by Spectrum, who also makes New Way and a whole bunch of high-end foods. It's the exact same food. It's just PV Mart's branded version, so PV Mart makes more money on it. And I started buying it when I worked at PV Mart, but it's done really well for all 3 of them, so we've stayed on it. Okay. And it's cheaper. It's cheaper than a lot of the. It's cheaper than it's even cheaper than Purina. So why would I move to Purina, right?
Yeah.
And again, they're doing really well on it, so why would I change their food? But yeah, they all eat Harvest Goodness, but Otis and Colleen are on the adult. Technically, if Otis was a purebred Saint Bernard, I'd keep him on puppy food until he was 2.
Yeah.
But a purebred Great Pyrenees, you usually turn over at about 14 months. So again, he's like 16 months. I'm like, we'll move him on to adult food. So he's on that. They're both, the 2 older ones are on adult food. The puppy's on puppy food. I still have to get the puppy in to get his rabies shots and stuff, but I haven't called the vet yet.
You should look up to see if there's any free rabies clinics. We just had one here in St. Catharines.
They don't seem to do that here. There is. I wish they did, because that's all he really needs, right? Like I'm a weird guy when it comes to vaccinations. I believe in vaccinations, but I also don't believe in over-vaccinating. And even when I was a breeder, I didn't believe in over-vaccinating. And when my family was breeders, they didn't believe in the over-vaccination. We think that they've all followed the science, and they're like, the 3 vaccines as a puppy is too much. And they still believe in vaccinating more than once, but it's not like every year. It's like every second year. And so he had his first set of shots when he was 6 weeks old, like he was supposed to have. And he hasn't had any since then, but he's only been around the 2 that are shotted completely. Rabies is the one I care about the most. I don't care about kennel cough. They'll never really be involved with kennel cough because they'll never be in a kennel. And I know you can get kennel cough outside of a kennel, but they it's not like they interact with other dogs very often, other than our neighbor's dogs. And my neighbor has like 2 little Shih Tzus that are like this big, right? Like, I believe in rabies. I believe in parvo, but parvo you only need 1 or 2. So when he goes in for his rabies shots, he'll get a second parvo shot. But I don't agree with 4 shots for parvo. I know that I'm not a vet, but there are vets that agree that vets, just like doctors, do the same thing, right? Some are like there is too much vaccination, and some are like we're not vaccinating enough. So it all depends on where you look. I don't take them to dog parks or anything like that, so I don't care as much about that. But yeah, I need to get him his rabies for sure, and I'd like to get him a second booster of everything else. I give them heartworm, I give them flea, I give them tick, I give them all that. But I have enough heartworm and tick medication for the 2 bigger ones for the whole summer before I have to buy more. But he doesn't have any yet, so I have to get him his stuff too.
Edmonton's on a power play for the next minute 44.
So what you're saying is it's going to be like an 8-1 game.
It's already 8-1.
Okay, it's going to be a 9-1 game.
Well,
I'm telling you, they're waiting to get back to Florida, and then they're going to crush them next game.
Well, if these 2 teams keep playing the way they are, Edmonton's going to win the cup. If the next 3 games are identical to this.
Yes, but you can't tell me that they played the first 3 games and the rest of the playoffs amazingly, and then they're going to be like, we don't know how to play hockey anymore.
Well, this game is like watching a men's team playing against a boys' team.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Florida is a much more in-depth team than Edmonton.
Yeah.
There's no way they should be losing 8-1 in a game unless they're purposely giving them the game.
They look flat. Edmonton has just been flying all game. Oh. Edmonton's got everything to lose, right?
Yep. I mean, that's the question. Will Edmonton be the first Canadian team to win since Montreal won years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, Ottawa lost to Anaheim. That was an okay series. I mean, it was 2 expansion teams, albeit different expansion years, but still 2 expansion teams. I think Ottawa is the only expansion team left that really has not won a cup. Because the Lightning have won. The Sharks won, didn't they?
That's what I was wondering. I don't remember.
Maybe it's Ottawa and the Sharks?
But Ottawa's got that weird thing where they used to be a team, right? So they have a Stanley Cup final.
Who's that, sorry?
A Stanley Cup win, right?
Who?
1908, Ottawa?
Ottawa technically has... Ottawa won a lot of cups before King Clancy left, and they say that that's part of the King Clancy curse. But yes, Ottawa won several cups and have not won in lots of years. But the Ottawa Senators of old are not the Ottawa Senators of current.
No. There we go. Game over.
8-1?
8-1. Only a 3-shot difference, though.
Wow. I thought that tonight would be the night that the Stanley Cup was over.
Well, but then, if you're following the basketball championships, the Celtics should have won their game last night, but they got blown out. So it's only appropriate Florida got blown out.
I have to buy a table saw. Do you think a Ryobi table saw is worthwhile, or should I go with the King Canada table saw?
I'd go by price point.
Okay, Ryobi, I can get a Ryobi 10-inch table saw with a stand for $248 plus tax. The King Canada at my work is sold for $399. I get 20% off, so it would be $299. And it has a stand as well, but it is one of the stands that are connected to the saw.
Ooh.
It's a job site saw versus a just shitty table saw. I mean, I'm okay with Ryobi. I own Ryobi too. I have a Ryobi miter saw at my feet currently.
Yeah, because you'd just be using it for around the house, right? So it doesn't have to be a commercial, like I said, job site.
But I mean, how many contractors actually are going to buy a King Canada saw? None of them.
No, but it's an introductory though, right? If someone who's just getting contracting, I have this.
Yeah, because I have some. I have to build a deck. I have to build a set of stairs. I have to build a new fence, just like an 8-foot section, but I have to rebuild it. And I have to do the miter saw will work for this part, but I have to do a bunch of structural things in my gridding above me, like in my my toilet upstairs. Me and my wife don't use the upstairs toilet. We only use the basement toilet. But the toilet upstairs is like this. Because it started to sag, right? So when my in-laws are here in 2 weeks, my father-in-law is going to help me do the structural rebalance it.
Yeah.
So we have to square out the toilet and put some like stuff underneath it to help it stand properly.
Yeah. Some bracing.
We have to brace the bathtub because they cut through the supports there. But I mean, again, I can do that, but it hasn't mattered because the two heaviest people have been using the shower down here.
Yeah.
And then after that, the only thing I have to do is the front stairs and the back porch. And I need a table saw for shearing plywood into the right size because I have to do some sheathing. And other than that, I don't need any. So the Ryobi would probably work, but I mean, it's only $50 less than getting the job site saw.
I would consider find out what the price of replacement blades are.
King Canada used to be owned by Makita. See, that tells me that maybe it's better to go King Canada. However, Ryobi is made by the same company that makes Milwaukee. Because when you think about it, there's only like 6 companies, period, that make tools, right?
Yeah.
Like DeWalt is made by Black & Decker. Stanley owns DeWalt and Black & Decker.
Yeah. Any good sales that you've seen? Any flyers recently?
Well, that's where I'm trying to get the tools before my father-in-law gets here, just so we have them. But I'm like, there's so many things I can get at my place of employment. And the best part about my place of employment is even if something's on sale, I get the 20% off unless it's a scratch and dent. Scratch and dent's the only thing I don't get 20% off on because it's already so lowballed that. But I mean, behind me you see those fucking ammo crates. Those ammo crates were $16 on sale for $8.47, and I still ended up getting a 20% off of $8.47. I'm like, I'll buy a bunch of them, put tools and stuff in them. So I mean,
nice.
And I was taught I didn't want to get an air compressor because I'm like, I don't really need an air compressor. And then I started my job where I am, and they have their own brand of tools, right? And their own brand of tools are so cheap it's not funny, and I get 20% off of that, and I'm like, I could just buy a like $200 compressor and set up all my tools as this brand tools.
Air compressors
And
are
not give a shit.
awesome.
They are, but I mean, because I'm trying to get back on my feet, I'm like, I can be smart about this. I don't need this. I don't need this. I
Yeah.
don't need this. At least not at this moment. And yeah.
But the air compressor though, that helps with you can fill the tires in the car, bicycles.
If Ryobi versus King Canada is a total toss-up, then do I save the $50 and just get the Ryobi tool that has the folding stand versus the job site stand? The job site stand would be the stand with the wheels where you can roll it wherever you need it. I don't necessarily need that. I mean, I could even go Mastercraft. Mastercraft would cost as much as the King Canada, and the Mastercraft is not nearly as good quality.
See, I lucked out. I got a table saw, I don't know how many years ago it was. Someone put it at the end of their driveway. They are emptying out their shed. All it needed was a new on-off switch. They had something had happened, so they had just bypassed it. So when you plugged it into the wall, the blade spun. That was safe.
So you plug it into a power bar, so you have the on-off switch. On, off, on.
I purchased an on-off switch from Amazon. Had the little green button to turn it on, but the large red magnetic on-off, so that way if something happens, you just have to hit that and it kills it.
I'm having a hard time learning what aisle everything's in, because everybody expects you to know where everything is, and I think that's what I hate, especially with the company I'm with. The stores are huge, but I'm loving the job.
Well, I'm sure with your shift coming up as the nighttime punishment team, you'll learn where everything is.
Yes, and I mean their system is so much better that we have handhelds where if a customer can give me the SKU, I can tell them exactly where it's supposed to be. See, my very first table saw was a Mastercraft, and I never fully loved it. I didn't, but I didn't use it often. I mean, I use the miter saw more than I use the table saw. The table saw I just need because there are things I'm going to have to rip down to size that I'm not going to normally be able to do with a miter saw. The miter saw I have at my feet is only a 10-inch miter saw. It's not huge, and it's not a sliding or anything. So even like a 2x6 could stall it out. I always love sliding miter saws more than regular miter saws. Sup with you, Chris 2.0, because here's Chris 1.0. You're Chris 2.0. You still haven't emailed me your address so I can send you some beer. It's not going to go out for another week or so until I get paid, but it might go out at the same time as I pay Brian to send me some stuff, mattering if I find anything in Niagara.
Yeah.
I have a shopping cart set up for beers from New Brunswick, but I don't know if I want to buy it or not because it's like $100 for 12. I'm like, sure, that's like only $40 more than 12 here, but do I think I'm going to like them enough? I think I get my YouTube pay on the 21st of the month, so I'll see if I get enough to buy the beer, and if I do, yeah, do it, sir, do it.
So what's been your if this is up if you want to answer it? What was your biggest YouTube pay if you don't mind sharing?
So you get paid monthly. I mean, we're
Yeah.
not supposed to talk about this. We're not. It's in our thing that we're not supposed to talk
Oh
about.
well,
but
then I don't want you to
we're
lose
so,
it. So you don't-
we're so far out that hey, well, we're talking about my work pay. So it's monthly that you
secondary income.
get paid. It's monthly that you get paid, and you only get paid if you hit a certain threshold, and your threshold is $100. The most I've ever made was $460 in a month. The most I've ever made in a year up until now was 275 because they withhold tax too, right? So and it's U.S. withholding for us. It's withholding for foreign taxation, so it's a lot more. So up until now it was 270, 275-ish was my highest payout for a year. I'm looking at about $1,000 so far this year since moving.
It's not too bad.
No, and I mean I know that's not going to be normal. I'm not going to make $1,000 a year on this. If I make $100 a year, I'm yay happy. Because I mean I'm just doing what I like anyway. I'm reviewing beers and every once in a while sharing things that we're doing as a family. And I get that we're not like Cash Jordan or Ray William Johnson or any of the other people that are huge on YouTube. There's so many of them. Fucking Jim Cornette, the amount of money he makes on YouTube is insane.
Oh, I can only imagine, especially the way they break down those into clips.
Yeah, I mean they post their entire podcast, and then they post their clips so that you're watching everything. And people and they're making money off their podcast. They're making money on YouTube. They're making money hand over fist on that shit. Actually, I've been sending Chris, who is up on the screen right now, different topics for next week. Like Hulk Hogan has his own beer brand coming out.
I saw that.
I don't know who makes it. I don't know any of that, but the Real American Beer.
There is a press release about it, but I don't remember.
It doesn't say who makes it.
Oh, I thought it did. No, okay.
I got poop bags.
I liked how in the press release it says it's going to be released in Florida there, and then 17 other states, but they don't name the states.
No, they name like 6 states of the 7.
And I'm like, it'd be nice to know if New York State's one of them.
Yeah, because if New York State's one of them, I'll split a 6-pack with you.
Yeah. I would definitely.
Because I'm sure it'll hit there as a 6-pack, not as a single.
Oh, you never know.
But even so, Hulk Hogan's beer is going to cost what, like $12 a 6-pack? I don't care. I'll give you $6.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'll give you $6 and you can send me one. Because you went across the border for me, right? And I mean, anyone that I pay, if somebody asks me to pay them for something and they tell me what the price is, I usually throw an extra few bucks in for the you did the work. Yeah. And I sat here at my house.
Yeah. Yeah. You made it happen. I just had to open it.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. What the fuck is this? Ooh.
Drink it.
ABV is that? It's only 5%. We can drink that. So Pile of Bones White IPA.
Ooh.
So this is the same beer that was given to me by my real estate agent because he gave me the Coldwell Banker White IPA. It's the same beer. Just one of them is branded as the Coldwell Banker and one of them isn't. It's a good beer. Cheers. I'm sort of sad that I'm out of that 4-pack of beer that my work gave me. Every time I go into the office, I see the 2 2-4s of it still sitting on the floor, and I'm like, I want another 4-pack.
Is what you had available in your province?
What they did was the company bought for every store in the country. They
Yeah.
bought a 4-pack of beer for their staff from a local brewery in the province that would sell a mass amount to them, so they could send it to each different store.
Okay.
So we got ours from a brewery in Saskatoon, not a brewery in Regina,
Yeah.
and the beers were pretty good. I mean, none of them were bad. But every time I walk into the office, I see the 224s that are left on the floor, and I'm like, I want those. I just want to take them home with me.
That's awesome.
Are they still making ACTC lager? That's amazing. We actually went to and now that I'm looking at my bare wall here beside me, I wish I had bought them. But we were at a liquidation store, and they had a bunch of Carlsberg stuff. They had like a Carlsberg bottle cap wall art, and they had the bottle opener that you hang on your wall and all that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not a big Carlsberg fan, but that would look great on this wall. But I didn't buy it. It was fairly fucking cheap too. I should have bought the shit. Because it was such a bad liquidation store that I don't think we'll ever go back. But there was stuff there that was like, I really should have bought that while I was there. It was one of those stores where you walk in and you're like, I'm not using my debit card here because my debit card is getting stolen. So it was looking at the price of the things and going, I only have a $20 bill in my pocket. I still can't believe I was able to get an Ottawa Senators banner here.
That sounds about right.
They're hoping I buy all the Ottawa Senators stuff at the store, and I'm like, but you have like 30 Ottawa Senators banners. They're like, yeah, maybe you can fill your whole house with it. I'm like, yeah, no. And then we have this junction box right here. I don't know what the fuck this is here for. I almost want to open it up and look. Since it's running on a line to here, there's no electrical outlet on the other side. So what the fuck is this junction box for?
Open her up.
I'm going to have to at some point, but I don't want to.
Might be an empty box.
There's so many boxes in this house that are just the wire guard on the wall, because I'm surprised they did it down here because this is drywall. But upstairs they did it as well. And upstairs, I mean, that you still have a lot of plaster and lath. So I understand this upstairs.
Yeah.
But why did you run this down here?
Because they could. Who knows? You're new to the area. You don't know you don't know what the reasoning is.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Trailer Park Boys Freedom 35 logger still listed as active. Really? Wow. I did not know they made chips. A buddy of mine in the US was like, did you know the Trailer Park Boys make chips? I'm like, no, I did not know. Do you get the Trailer Park Boys chips in Niagara?
I have no idea. I'm eating Old Dutch right now.
What does Alicia want? Okay, I guess I gotta go walk the dogs.
You gonna go walk the dogs?
Yeah.
Did it stop raining at least?
Well, let me ask her. Did it stop raining? I don't want to walk in the rain. I like when I get an answer of red right away and I don't get a response.
Yeah.
You're leaving me unreceived. Andy Cop chips down on. Oh, who's Andy Cop? I know that name. Who the fuck is?
Yeah, when I was out in Alberta, I was looking at what the halfway point was between Lethbridge and Regina. Some little town.
Some little town.
Yeah, so like, well, there's nothing there, so I can't be like, hey, let's meet halfway on your day off. I had briefly thought about just showing up at your work unannounced to you because I knew what you're working in your shifts.
Oh, when I was with my old job?
Yeah.
It would have given me something amusing.
That would have caught you off guard.
And you could have went to my new job right beside us.
Yeah.
You know, I get my wife to come into my job every once in a while to buy things while I'm at work. And I always forget, like, I needed a door sweep. And after she left, I saw the door sweep, and I'm like, holy fuck, I could have got her to buy the door sweep here.
Yeah.
She went through the cash yesterday. When she went through the cash, she gave my employee number and all that. And the cashier was like, you know, we have a sidewalk sale tomorrow with a whole bunch of scratch and dent. And she's like, yeah, your boss is working tomorrow. He wants to buy something, he can fucking buy it himself.
Was there anything good in that sale?
Yeah, but I didn't find out about it till too late.
That's like when I found out about the one here. I was there at the end of the day, and I'm like, oh man. And this was like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, I'll be up in 5 or 10 minutes. Check the shelves for 3 leashes. Leashes. Sorry, just talking to my wife.
It's okay.
Because I have about half a beer left and I have to pee first. So, you know what? Brian and Chris 2.0, you guys are in charge of the chat while I pee.
Well, while you pee, okay.
Oh.
A little dramatic when he pees, that sounds like. No, I think I think it's true that he sits to pee. Doesn't have the sight to hit the target. Anyone agree? Chad sits to pee. Now I can see why you can't see the comments because I can't see. My YouTube was on my phone.
Judge's harness was the blue plaid one, and it's set up to fit him. And Otis has the camo military one, which last I saw it was on the couch. I'll be up in about 5 minutes. I just have 1 beer left.
One beer.
And I'm back.
All right. Welcome back, Chad.
Welcome to myself. Yes.
Yeah.
How are you? Yeah, the Puppers beer is not great.
Even odds. That's awesome.
I was standing, sir.
Well, I brought it up that I think you sit to pee.
You're
'Cause you-
wrong.
'cause
You're
you can't-
wrong, sir.
Because you might not necessarily see the target.
Okay, my son should sit to pee because, and as much as I don't want to say this online,
Well then
Uh,
don't.
No, we're going to say it anyway. So here's your penis. His pee hole is like here, not here. So he pees down, but his penis is also not very big, so he pees all over. My wife wants to kill him every day as she cleans piss up off the floor.
So you're blaming him. It's you. We know it.
He should sit to pee. I don't have to sit. Look, I'm a grower, not a shower, but my pee hole is in the right spot, so I can stand and pee.
Or is yours in the wrong spot and his is in the right spot?
No! I know the semen is not supposed to go down. It's supposed to go out.
Ugh.
Well,
So, what's up for tomorrow for you?
I have a blood test tomorrow for my new doctor. I have a family doctor now.
On a Sunday?
Yes, Life Labs is open 7 days a week.
Oh, okay.
So I have a blood test tomorrow. Other than that,
Have you gone for a physical yet with this doctor?
that's the next thing after my blood test.
Are you going to do the usual little joke? Tell him you feel something wrong.
Maybe.
Nice. That'd be what, the second doctor you've done it to? Third doctor?
I still love when I was first put on. You're not going to forget it all. Chris, you remember Chris 1.0. You remember everything I said. Forever. But I remember the one thing I remember when I was first put on Cipralex, and I was with Dr. Rosemary Okafor, who was this African lady who was a immigrant to Canada, and I loved her. She was a great doctor. She really was. She was my last family doctor when I was in Niagara region, and I say family, but she was my doctor and nobody else's. She was great. She was really good at what she did, and she put me on when I was doing my depression and everything else. When I was starting my shit when my ex-wife left, and I was doing all my therapy and everything else. Cipralex was the first one she put me on, and I couldn't get hard anymore. And one of the side effects of Cipralex is that you might lose your ability to get an erection. And at that point, that was my 18 and 18, right? And I'm like, I need to be able to get hard, bitch. I'm like, I can't be on this. And she's like, why? I just feel weird. She's like, well, what's wrong? I go, just stuff's wrong. And she's like, well, what? And I go, just stuff. She's like, well, I can't help you if you won't tell me what it is. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. She goes, if you don't want to talk about it, it doesn't matter. I go, motherfucker, I can't get fucking hard, okay? I can't get fucking hard. Put me on something else. And she's like, that's all I needed to hear. Because here's your new script. Like, I fucking hate you so much. She was a great doctor. She really was. I loved her.
How long of a wait did it take for you to get family doctor?
Here?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't actually try until about a week ago. And a week ago, we were able to get one right away.
Nice.
We
That's
were like,
good.
hey, we're looking for a family doctor. And she's like, we're I'm accepting it. Here's the thing, right? So what I found in Saskatchewan is Saskatchewan has two things going on. There is a lot of racism still. So if you're an immigrant to the country, you have a lot of opportunity here, but at the same time, you have a lot of resistance. And our doctor is Dr. Her name is like Prawev or something like that. She is from the Middle East, and she's a family doctor, and she's open, and not a lot of people want her because she's from the Middle East. And I'm like, fuck, do you have a medical degree? She's like, yeah. I'm like, do you care about our health? She's like, yeah. I go, you fucking fit. That's all we need. So she's our doctor. And we went in, and she met 3 of the 4 of us, and she's like, you guys seem like a great family. This is what we need from all 4 of you. And we're like, okay, we'll get it done over the next month. I'm the first one in for my blood tests and all that. My wife is next. My children are the week after. And she's like, after that, I need a physical from you and you. I don't need a physical from the 2 kids, and you're my patients. We're like, yay! Like, it was what it was, right?
That's good.
You know what I use for hot dog buns. I don't buy hot dog buns. A loaf of bread is cheaper than hot dog buns, and you get a lot more fucking slices. So what do I use for hot dog buns? I use a fucking loaf of fucking bread. You know this.
Oh yeah, what kind of hot dog buns do you use? Like what?
Wonder Bread.
Oh, you don't whole wheat?
No, oh, that's gross. He wants your take on this. Do you use hot dog buns?
No. Wait, I barely eat hot dogs.
You know what? I never. The only hot dogs I ever ate was the hot dogs from Big Red, which were the same hot dog, the Lesters, the same hot dogs that were served at the Air Canada Centre. Since I moved here, I've started eating hot dogs more often, and they taste a lot like Lesters, and they're the Costco hot dogs. They're not nearly as thick or as long, but they're fucking good. They have flavor. They don't just taste like shit.
I find the Costco hot dogs give me a friggin' headache.
Well, they don't give me a headache. If they start giving me a headache, I won't eat them anymore.
Yeah. So I don't have them often. Every now and then.
My wife just bought 6 racks of ribs from the co-op for like $20.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she's like, when is your next day off? I go, why? She goes, because I have ribs for you to make. You know, next weekend.
It's convenient, eh? Father's Day ribs.
Yeah, no, I'm not making ribs tomorrow. We're having takeout tomorrow because it's Father's Day.
Oh yeah,
but next Saturday I'm off, so we're making ribs next Saturday. Because when I start my ribs, I start them at like 7 a.m.
Oh, okay.
And they're ready at 5 or 6.
Nice. I'll miss next week's show. I'll be out at a concert.
Next week's show is with me and Chris. Next week's show is interview with a rhino. So it'll be the more professional show.
This is pretty professional right now.
What you speak of, sir? And then the week after, I don't know what I'm doing the week after because my kids get in at like 11 p.m. on the Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we'll have to be at the airport to meet the plane. But it's my adopted daughter, my 2 children that still live with my ex-wife, my 2 in-laws, and my nephew from my marriage is coming. Because, you know, the same person that we talked about not wanting to move out of mommy and daddy's basement can't find daycare for his son while they're here. So, you know, they have to send him here for us to take care of for him. I said right to my wife, I'm like, you should just tell your parents if they're going to choose your youngest brother over every family member, maybe they should just walk away from everything. And she didn't like that. I'm like, well, no, like everybody has to do everything for those 2. They can't do anything for themselves. We are here figuring out our own life in another province with nobody here, but they can't figure anything out in the province they want to live in. They can't afford to live in. You say, but I feel like you want to say something else.
Well, the time and a place to say certain things might not be the forum to do it.
What's Chris have to say before we go? Oh shit, I just closed it. I like the ribs from Giant Tiger. They drive the barbecue god nuts. Ready in 10 minutes. They microwave instruct. Fuck that. That's not real ribs. That's not real ribs. A real rib is made in time. You have to season it. You have to cook it. Then you have to put it on the grill to crisp. Fuck you and your 10-minute ribs, Chris.
Yeah, the Niagara Falls Rib Fest is going on right now.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, see, I take my ribs, I marinate them, then I season them, then they sit in my oven for like 5 hours, then I take them out and they sit in my oven with like tin foil on them. Then I take them out, they go on my barbecue for about 35 minutes, and everybody loves my ribs. And next weekend is rib night.
Hey.
I'm really excited. She also bought pork back. Pork belly. And the best part about pork belly is whatever we don't use, we put in the fridge, and I make ramen with it because ramen should have pork belly. And I mean, I'm very not Asian, but as you
thought you were.
As you know, I had a very big Asian fetish, and I love Asian cuisine, so I make a pretty good ramen. There was somebody that worked with the two of us that told me if she knew how good I was with my hands at fixing things and how good she would have dated me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you didn't, because now that I know that you would only have used me, I wouldn't have wanted to be with you. But yeah, I mean, my two fetishes, and my wife is neither. Redheads and Asians. Those are my two things that make me go like without even trying.
Is there a redheaded Asian category on certain websites?
There is, but I don't look at websites, right? I don't. I'm happily married, to the point where.
Are you still stuck with the magazines?
No, I don't even touch right. The woman I'm with right now is everything I want. She knows that I'm not tall and dark, so I don't fit, but I get her going by just saying, "Hey, can I fart in your butt?" So I mean, I can't
only
be angry,
if you pee
right?
between my legs.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't be angry because we are what we are, and we work well together, and we both are very, very, very infatuated with each other, even after all these years. But I still have the two things that have always gotten me going, which is the two things that could have kept me happy that weren't her, which was, a redhead or an Asian. And I mean, all the redheads I had were great, but some of them were fucking psycho.
Hey, what's her favorite tattoo?
On me?
Yeah.
These two, because they're her two kids, right? Our youngest daughter's hand, and her oldest daughter's drawing, because when I started dating her oldest daughter had only met her father once.
Yeah.
And she saw all these tattoos on me, and she's like, "What are these?" I'm like, "Well, this is my son's foot, this is my other son's foot, this is my daughter's foot." She's like, "Oh, I don't have anything on you." I go, "Well, here. This is what size you have. Draw whatever you want, and I'll get it tattooed." She's like, "No, you won't." I go, "Draw it, and I'll tattoo it." So this is an exact copy of what she drew.
Right.
And, I mean, she's my daughter. I mean, I call her to everything, she's my daughter. She moved in with her grandparents because we didn't have high school where we were at the time. And I'm like, and I message her every once in a while. I'm like, "I hope you're doing good." I'm like, I know you thought I was an asshole at times. I was doing this because I care about you. All I care about is your success and your ability to be an amazing person. I love you. I always will. I don't have any hard feelings. The reason I was hard on you is because I know what you can do. And I know what the North was doing, because she lived with us. We had 1 year together in the South, and then we had 5 years together in the North, right? And I'm like, I know what the North was doing to you. So yeah, I was hard on you. because you're not a northern kid. You're a good kid. You're not somebody from the Arctic, and you can't. I can't look at you as somebody from the Arctic.
It's not a
And
rest
she's like,
child.
yeah, I love you. And I told my wife I told Alicia, I'm like, your daughter just sent that she loves me. She goes, see, I told you she loves you. And she still talks to her dad, but she talks to her dad just to get money out of him because he'll just send money for nothing, right? Only reason she talks to me if she needs advice with anything or needs me to give her my thought on something. And she talks to him when she needs money because she knows I won't give her money. I'm like, you're fucking 15, get a job. So, and I mean, again, she regardless of whether or not I'm the father of her, I'm her father in my mind. I mean, I don't know if I am in her mind. I guess I'll find out it when she gets married. But I know I didn't come into her life until she was 9, and she's 15 now. But I've been there for more things than he was ever there for. His entire concept was get Alicia pregnant so he can get citizenship. Alicia didn't give him citizenship, and then his thought was, well, I have a daughter, so I can get citizenship from her. And all she wants from him is money. She doesn't want to give him anything, right? She's like, yeah, I don't need you to come visit. Fuck you. So, I mean, I don't know how things will go, but it is what it is. In the north, yeah, it's wild, wild west. It's worse than wild, wild west. It's fucking insane. And you don't realize how insane it is until you get back to the real world. And even living in Regina, that's considered a rough place. We've had 2 homicides. It's now the middle of June. We've had 2 homicides in the year. This is considered a rough place for Saskatchewan. I'm sorry. Toronto has, 19 homicides by June usually? I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Hey, do you consider yourself in the South now, even though you're probably still further north than
you? Yeah,
no,
yeah. I'm in the South. I'm in normal life now. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I gotta go walk the dog. So thank you, Brian. I'm glad you were here because I needed to have some interaction. The vlogs will continue to come. Don't you worry. Anyway, I'm gonna go walk the dogs. Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.